Hi, boys and girls. We're going to start our time together with our spelling words. And don't forget that we're working on 2 focus sounds, R and stars, and wa and wash. So our first word is a 2-beat word. G, R, gar, d, a, n, den. Put it together and you get garden. Spell it with me. G-A-R-D-E-N. Garden. Good. Another 2-beat word. Arm. So you read the first beat first. Farm. And then add the second beat. Put it together and you get farmer. Spell it with me. F-A-R-M-E-R. Farmer. So now here's an example, remember, of a word that's 2 beats and we hear on the end. And when that happens, it's usually spelled E-R. We'll see another spelling word that's like that too. Okay, our next R word is bull. Marble. Okay, can you spell it with me? M-A-R-B-L-E. And that spells marble. Good for you. And how about this word? Park. P-A-R-K. Park. R, car. C-A-R. Car. Star. S-T-A-R. Star. And those are all of our R words. So let's just read them together. Ready? Garden. Farmer. Marble. Park. Car. Star. Good job. And then the other focus sound is wa. Oh, that's a star word. Let's not start with a star word. Let's start with a wa word. Here we go. Wash. Spell it with me. W-A-S-H. Wash. So the trick is to remember that even though we hear ah, it's an A that's making that sound. Next, watch. Can you spell it with me? W-A-T-C-H. Watch. Okay, we hear the ch. The trick also in this word is to remember the T in front because it's ch in patch. And of course the A making the ah sound. Good for you. Wasp. Wasp. Spell it with me. W-A-S-P. Wasp. Oh, there it is. There's the other E-R word. Water. Water. W-A-T-E-R. Water. Swan. Swan. Spell it with me. S-W-A-N. Swan. Want. Spell it with me. W-A-N-T. Want. Last one. Swamp. Swamp. Spell it with me. S-W-A-M-P. Swamp. Good. Let's go over our wa words. Ready? Wash. Wash. Watch. Watch. Wasp. Wasp. Water. Water. Swan. Want. Swamp. Swamp. And then our star words. I'm, which is a contraction of I am. Capital I, apostrophe M. Remember, an apostrophe is a comma, which is a period with the tail, up high. And then our other star word, where. Spell it with me. W-H-E-R-E. Good for you. Where. And the question mark reminds us that we need to put tall letter H in there. Good for you. All right. Now we've got a few. Actually, I'm going to set where aside and then let's talk about these 2 words because these are from our word wall, sight words we've been working on. And I put them over there for a reason, and I'll tell you why in just a second. What is this word? Ow, how. And then what's this word? What. Notice Mrs. Card put an sound underneath the A because that's what you hear, but it's spelled with an A, so be careful there. And don't forget windy letters. Now I put these all together over here because these are all question words. Where, what, how. Okay, and question words start a question. When you're asking someone something, you're making a question. Okay, and you always start a question with a question word, like what, where, what, or how. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a minute. Let's go over some more word wall words. What's that? Was, says, boy, girl. Are you beating me? Build, because the U is silent, right? Has. Oh, we just saw this one. I'm. Ooh, this one's tricky. Look at this. Doesn't that word look a lot like where? But look, there's no H. What's this word? Were. Were. We were at the park. Good job. Let's put where back over there. And then last word wall word, are. Like in our house is on this street. Or our car is red. Good for you. Okay, now we're going to do a chart. I brought out the green chart cards. So can you say that sound for me? Ang. What's that? N. We'll just read the sounds. Ong. Ung. Try to beat me. And the ED sounds, I'm going to flip over the card to help us. So what does ED say in wanted? Ed in wanted. T in looked. D in played. Good for you. What does A say on the green chart? Like in adopt. There it is. Wa. What does Y say on the green chart? E like in baby. O. Ank. Ing. Different sound. Look at the end. Ank. Ing. N. Silent G. Ing again, but look, it has a hyphen in front because it has a special job of being a word ending, like in point, ing, pointing. Ink, unk, onk. Good job. Okay, let's take a quick look at our seat work. Today, we're putting words together to build compound words. Look, I see a spelling word. Water. Water. Okay, and then match the compound word to the picture. Then you're circling all in ball. And then you're putting the word that names the picture from the word box. And then here is where you mark the vowels. And then you put R for regular word, B for bumper word, and M for mouse word. And then please read the words to mom or dad. Okay. On the back, at the top is the same as we've always done. Okay, you're circling the word that names the picture. Don't ask mom or dad to show you the word. Okay, you can ask them to name the picture for you, but you have to find the word. Be careful, this is a dog. It's a weird looking dog. And the arrow is pointing at his bone. So that's the word you're looking for. Now let's move on to the bottom because this is brand new. Okay, instead of writing a telling sentence today, you're going to write a question sentence. So you're going to ask something about frogs. Okay. Now to write a question, you're to start your sentence with a question word followed by a plural noun and then end with a question mark. Well, what's a question word? Well, we looked at some over here. Where, what, and how. And then there's a couple of others on the list. Who and why. Okay, so there's more, but we'll start with those. So your very first word in your sentence is going to be one of these words. And you're going to have to put a capital on it because it's the first word in the sentence. Okay. And then you're going to follow up your question word with frogs and then ask me something about frogs. might say, well, how do you do that, Mrs. Card? I'll show you some examples, okay? I picked cows to write a question about, and I chose how to be my question word. And then I thought, what could I ask about cows? How about this? How do cows make milk? Okay, notice, capital. Oh, I finished with a question mark. Okay, and spaces between the words. Next, I asked a question about mice. And this time I used the word why. Why do cats like to hunt for mice? Okay, capital, question mark. And also you'll notice that my voice is going up when I read a question. Okay, when you're reading a telling sentence, your voice goes down at the end. But when you read a question, your voice goes up. Next, I asked a question about flowers, and I used the question word who. Who created all of the beautiful flowers for us to enjoy? Notice, capital, question mark. Spaces between the words and my question makes sense. Then I made up a question about bats. And I used the question word what. What do bats like to eat? Okay, notice I started with a capital and I ended with a question mark. And last I asked a question about giraffes. And I used the question word where. Where do giraffes live? Okay, I started with a capital and finished with a question mark. Okay, now how do you write a question mark? I'm going to show you. When you get to the end of your question, you have to put a question mark. And a question mark, this is how I do it. I start with a backwards little C and then a line that bumps and then a dot in the basement. Backwards, little C, a line that bumps, little line, and then a dot in the basement. Backwards, little C, little line that bumps, and a dot in the basement. Okay, now let's take my question, how do cows make milk? And I'll write it on the line at the bottom of my page. I'm not going to ask a question about frogs because I want you to come up with your own idea. So first I write my question word with a capital because it's the first word in the sentence. How, leave a space, do cows, notice I'm always putting my pencil at the top and bumping the line at the bottom, make is a bumper word, so I have to remember silent E. So how do cows make milk? Okay, now am I done my sentence? No, because I didn't put any punctuation at the end. And since it's a question, I have to put a question mark. How do I make a question mark? Start at the top. Backwards C in the top space, little line in the next space, bump the bottom line, and then a dot in the basement. Now my question is finished, and when I read it, I make my voice go up at the end. How do cows make milk? Okay. All right, so now you're going to write your question about frogs. And remember to start with a question word, and you're putting a capital at the beginning and a question mark at the end. Okay, everybody? Good job. Bye-bye.